I was surprised that you got the chance to catch this one because I wasn't sure if you were staying away from the new Luc Besson movie that a lot of people, well, they've been a little conflicted with it. Zach, I don't know how you feel about Luc Besson and his filmography. I always tell Alina, I was like, yo, this guy's got a new movie coming out. She's like, what has he done? Some of her favorites, Fifth Element. I'm actually a big fan of Valerian. I thought he was actually building a world there, as weird as it was. Nikita, Leon the Professional. Hell, my uncle's got one movie that he watches and one movie only. It's called Lucy. It's the only thing that's ever on his
Really?
TV.
I mean, I like Scarlett Johansson, but interesting.
This man's gone through some turmoil, some
Yeah.
accusations, what we should say. So
Sure.
when his new movie premiered at, I think it was Fantastic Fest. It premiered overseas, but it was a surprise screening at Fantastic Fest. People had some opinions. You know when you go to Letterboxd, right? And there's already reviews from people who haven't seen the movie. That you could tell that there's like a culture pushing against it.
Yeah.
With all that said, can you judge Dogman, starring Caleb? I'm blanking on his name.
Caleb Landry
Comes
Jones.
back there. Caleb Landry Jones, who's a musician, he was at South by as well. Can you judge this on its own merit? And what does that merit tell you at the end of the day? Good or bad?
Judging it just by its own merit, I gotta go no on this one, dog. I am.
Really?
Yeah, I think this movie is trying to be a mixture of Joker from the Todd Phillips movie, which I'm also not that high on, and White God, that awesome Cornel Mondrasco movie
With the real dogs? Hell yeah.
Yeah, with the real dogs.
Hell
and
yeah.
I feel like tonally this lands closer to Fred Durst's The Fanatic. I don't know, man. It's got this like trying to be hard edge crime movie to it, but ending up just sort of like laughable. I mean, it's the plot is just a mouthful. Caleb Landry Jones playing this abuse survivor who was saved by all these dogs and now runs a shelter, but also has this gift for commanding the dogs, but also is sometimes in a wheelchair, but not always, and a drag performer. Like it's kind of like
Hey,
how
you
much
forgot
more do you want to
Cartel
stuff into
leader
this
damn near.
plot, right? Like it's so overstuffed.
Did you mention the flashbacks?
I did only in brief, because it is just biting off way more than I think it could chew.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. It never really found a tone where I took it seriously. Did you have a better time with it than I did?
Everything that you said and how crazy it goes is why I found it a little bit intriguing.
Yeah.
I'm not giving it the 2 thumbs up or anything like that, but I think don't catch this in theaters, but when it's out on streaming, even if you could get a cheap rental for it, it's a weird tone. Caleb Landry Jones is that guy. He's always taking these off-kilter roles. The main thing that I always remember him from is obviously in Get Out when he's the brother and he's got this like very creepy essence to him that he brought himself in playing the instrument, which I think he had pitched while they were on set. And I think he carries it in this movie in a pathetic way.
Yeah, I didn't have a big issue with his performance, more his character.
You think it crosses? There's several moments where obviously he's cross-dressing. He's doing a lot of these different things in trying to find something. But I always feel that it's these horror movies that we look back on that end up doing something that is awkward yet, I don't want to say revolutionary, but a little bit new. He's able to capture this like lone person who feels more attached to dogs than he does to regular people because of the way he was raised, right? He ends up going to certain spaces and the least people who he thought would accept them are the people who accept them. I think there's a through line that happens a lot of times in movies, right? I was just rewatching Rosemary's Baby with The First Omen, and we had another movie that just came out as well. And look,
Immaculate.
we know the baggage that comes with thank you, it was because of Immaculate. Appreciate that. That Rosemary's Baby comes with a lot of baggage as well. You start that movie up, there's no denying it. There is absolutely no denying it. This is not a Rosemary's Baby, but I think it still gets into a realm that Luc Besson hasn't lost, and that's these outsiders finding a way into society and making their own, almost to a degree, from the scraps that they're given.
Totally. Like there's definitely like some interesting things going on there. And
You weren't bored,
if
right?
anything, there's maybe two. No, I wasn't bored at all.
Yeah.
If anything, there's maybe too many interesting things going on
Maybe
here.
too weird. I will give you
Yeah. Caitlin had a better time than I did with it. She feels like there's this real campy quality to a lot of it, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Get Caitlin on the podcast for sure, bro. Alina
you don't want to host with me anymore? You want to get her?
No, honestly, I'm gonna sub in with Alina. Alina was like, "No, I see what he's saying here." I'm like, "What are you seeing?" I'm like, "I'm not bored. I'm entertained by it, but I don't think this is his best out there." She goes, "No, I see what he's saying here about the Outcasts." So, hey, we might have to have the girls on here, the cuties, to talk about the movie, but I'd still land semi-positive. Like, I'm not going against the grain of what they have there. I think if if you're okay watching a Luc Besson movie, I think that there's some interesting elements to this. If not, I don't think this should be the one to break it for you.
Yeah, I mean, I probably land closer to like a 2-star. I thought it was weak, but I don't think it's like without interest or merit, like I think you'll be entertained by it at the very least, even if it is like laughing at it, not with it.
Yeah, I'm going above a 3. I don't know.
Ooh.
If I can go the half, but I might. Yeah, I liked Caleb in it, and I agree. If you're saying that Caitlin's mentioned that campiness to it, that it's that tone that I think some people will be intrigued by. So when it's streaming, we'll see how it does, because ain't no one leaving the theater for this. But it does have a theatrical run. It is playing near me. So
there you go.
Luc Besson, still with the legs.
Maybe.
Might see Caleb Landry Jones in concert. I think he might be a Lala.
Yeah. As far as Dogman go, that's my dog. So I'm a Dogman for her. I got her
working out.
Yeah, I put her with the Fallout bandana. I told you it'd look good on her, right?
It looked very nice, dude.
Yeah.
Good catch. From one Dogman to another.
What's up next?